have a little discussion this evening. How's that? It's been a crazy couple of months, let me tell you. Do 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 do. Da 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 da. Hopefully someone joins this thing. Ooh, signs of life. What's up? Good evening. I'm gonna wait until I'm gonna give it a few minutes and then we'll have a chat. So, all right. Yeah. I know. I mean, I could do it horizontal. I could, but I'm not gonna. So. I thought this would be a nice way to, I know the patrons I've been keeping in the loop, the public less so. It's been a very busy, very chaotic, but exciting last, I don't know what, almost 8 weeks. See, the patrons got notified of this, but yeah, the bell notification hopefully is working. So apparently it is for some of y'all, so that's good. There we go. All right. Am I wrong, or has my YouTube subscription not featured you lately? No, that sounds about right. I think that sounds about right. All right, let's go ahead and get this started. First off, hi. If you're new here, I'm Edward. I run Heavy Cardboard. How y'all doing? This is not how we normally do things. Essen just ended. I wasn't there. It's been a busy couple months. I'm gonna set down my tea. Oh, shouldn't have stretched that arm. There you go. Bad arm. All right. So what's up? Where have I been? What has been going on? So last you heard from me and us, not counting the container strain. We made do. So what has happened, big picture wise, is we've moved studios, not necessarily through my choice or my free will, but like a cat, I think we have landed on our feet. So what happened was about 3.5 months ago, my landlord, who for HCHQ, for the studio, sent me a text, sent all the residents a text. And by all, I mean there were 4 residents. Hey, you've been great tenants. Thank you. You have 45 days to vacate. We're going to demolish the building. What? So, we went into triage mode, and I was not prepared nor had the funds and ability to move at that point. So some people thought it would be a good idea to run a GoFundMe to basically help save the channel. And many tears and a lot of stress later, and they did exactly that. And now we are in the new studio. So here's a sneak peek. Now, it doesn't look like much, but bear with me through this and you'll understand what I'm talking about. So here you go. Take a look. That's the ceiling. That's 19 feet up there. So you see all the rigging that has been built? That is the bones of what is going to be the new studio, or one of the new studios. So we moved. We were in Wakefield, Mass, which is a suburb in kind of northeast Boston, about 20, 25 minutes from downtown. And we have gone about another 25 minutes further north, right on the border between two towns, one of which is really, really nice and one that is really, really not. And that is the borders of Lawrence and North Andover. And we are straddling that line. So that's where we are. We are in an old industrial mill building that was big during the Industrial Revolution. And in fact, this building in particular has some pretty cool history. So anyway, that's where we are. Now, the studio, as you can see, it's not quite ready, but we're getting there. So long story long, because this is what I do for a living, I talk. And so what have we been up to? What's been going on? What's the story? So once we moved and secured a place, moved in September 1st, I then had to figure out a solution for how to make a studio out of this place. 19-foot ceilings, awesome, but not practical from a camera, lights, all that fun stuff standpoint. And so I reached out to a company in Wisconsin to build a custom rig. They gave me they gave me a good dog and pony show for about 2 weeks, and then said, "Yeah, we're not going to do that. Sorry." What? You just wasted 2 weeks. What do you mean? Yeah, we're not going to do a one-off. Why didn't y'all let me know this from the jump? That could have said, okay. But much like every other piece of this process, not only has it been a learning curve, but it's been a net positive that it worked out the way it did. The reason is, after that fell through, I had the thought of, wait a minute, why don't I see if there's something local could get fabricated? And then from there, there's a lot of the technical side of running this channel that I knew enough to be dangerous, but didn't know. I didn't go to school for theater. I didn't go to school for video production. I didn't go to school for audio production. I'm not an audio engineer. I'm just a big dumb Marine that happens to really like board games and stumbled onto this. So I reached out to what I'm calling a consultant, and these guys that do professional studios for a living. And I said, hey, here's my situation. I am fortunate enough to have enough of a surplus. Surplus isn't the right word, but I had the ability to upgrade the studio. And I was like, I really want to do this right. Can you help me? Because a lot of this I don't understand. And one of the guys was like, you know what? I'll take this on as a little side gig. Okay, awesome, cool. So I never would have done that had the first company not given me the runaround and wasted time. So fast forward a few weeks and we have the rigging that we have here. This is basically stage or theater rigging, and I just so happen to have some steel beams, because this is an old mill building, at my disposal to be able to rig just like they do in theaters. So that's what we've done. It took a little while for all the hardware to come in. I had to go to a steel salvage and plumbing supplier to get 12-foot pipes cut for custom and all of this stuff. So then the midweek or so last week, everything got in. There were 4 of us here and we built the rigging. All right, so now we have the frame. So we have the bones on which to build a studio. But now we have to actually add all the other stuff on top of it. And all that other stuff is basically from the ground up. There are 3 parts. on top of the bones. You have video, you have lighting, and you have audio. Now, the hardest aspect of all of this has been the video aspect of it. And the reason for that is because the way I've always run this channel is the star of the show are the games that we feature on the channel. It's not the players, it's not the post, it's not the people around. I mean, sure, hopefully we make it entertaining, we have fun with it, and y'all enjoy that. But ultimately, maybe you're watching it a little bit for us, but you're really watching it because you're interested in the game, whatever the game is, be it Speakeasy, be it Container, any of those, whatever, or something older like El Grande, what have you. So with that said, the fidelity of the video has never quite been to the level of what I've wanted it to be. Well, thanks to the funding that we were able to secure through the support of the public at large around the world, we've been able to basically rebuild the entire studio from the ground up, quite literally. So we've gone from our old cameras, and we have since upgraded those cameras. Now, the cameras are one of the two main components that haven't arrived yet. They should be here later on this week. But we're going from old, outdated, never were really that great Canon XA30s. Those were the main cameras that we used. And a couple of PTZ cameras, which were really good. But the PTZ cameras should be used as PTZs. What does PTZ mean? Pan, tilt, zoom. One of them was the main camera. And the problem with it is, it's good, it just wasn't as good as it could have been. Well, again, through the funding, we have secured some updated kit, you might call it. So we've gone from Canon XA30s to FX30s. Now, why FX30s? Well, these things can do 4K 60. Now, does that mean we're going to start streaming in 4K? Maybe, yeah, that's kind of where the headaches and the extra gray hairs that you see have come from. There is a huge difference between streaming and recording and then uploading in 4K. It is about as close to an apple is to a giraffe. And I'm really not exaggerating. I'm not going to bore y'all with the details on what all goes into it. Just understand, there's a reason that for all intents and purposes, there really aren't a whole lot, if anybody, that streams at 4K 60 with multiple cameras. There's a reason for that. So, we are going to mess around with some 4K, but nonetheless, the FX30s, these are cinema cameras, and they're going to make everything look better. That's what is going to matter to y'all. The details of it probably don't. So, we got the cameras situation set up. We're going to have a total of six cameras here in the studio for when we come back live. Very excited about that. 2 PTZ cameras and then 4 mirrorless cameras as well. So that takes care of the camera aspect. Then we got the lighting. Oh boy, lighting. Lighting is no joke. Professional lighting is expensive, heavy, and difficult for a studio space. Now, if it were just a talking head like this, it's really not that hard. Requires 3 points of light. Again, you don't care about the details. I won't bore you with that. But needless to say, we have a very good new lighting setup that I'm excited to bring to y'all here soon. And that leaves the third thing, and in my opinion, the absolute most important part of anything, any kind of visual medium, isn't even the visuals, it's the audio. And trying to do audio right live as opposed to being able to mess with it in post-production is not fun when you're learning about it. So what does that mean for y'all? We are going from what were originally lavalier mics and then condenser shotgun mics to what's probably going to be, for those that are familiar with Broadway in theater, we're leaning towards some, they're not going to be invisible, but they're going to be discreet, over the ear little mics. And the reason for that is whenever you're a talking head, like we are right here today, and I'm just talking to the camera, I'm not really moving. I can have a lavalier or a lapel mic, and it's going to sound great because it's straight on. However, as y'all know, we're moving around a fair bit. I mean, we're not doing calisthenics over here, but we're talking, we're gestating, we're gesturing, we're doing all that. And all of that, again, if we don't have live production assistants moving boom mics around, if we're gonna do a lav, when I'm talking like this, it's fine. When I'm talking like this, now the sound isn't going to be nearly as good. So what's the fix? Just like what they have in the theater. If you go to Broadway, they all have hairline mics or they have little somewhat invisible mics. Now, will you probably be able to sing? Yeah, probably. Are they going to sound like butter? That's the goal. That totally is it. And again, I'm not going to bore you with all the details, okay? But that is the plan. We are investing more in the audio than we are everything else. Even though the hardest part of this was getting the video and the streaming and figuring out that puzzle. So with that said, I thought I would show y'all a little bit of the investment that folks have made in me and that I have made in the channel. Now, the funding was literally more than triple than what we asked. And so a fair bit of that is still in reserve. So rest assured that I'm not going irresponsibly overboard on the equipment. However, it is considerably upgraded across the board. So what does that mean for y'all? Well, you know what? Before we get into that, let me go ahead and show y'all. I have it broken down into kind of 3 areas back there, and I'm excited to show y'all. And this isn't, ooh, look at me. This is, hey, look at what's coming for us, right? So here we go. So we're gonna take this mobile a little bit here. All right. So over here, don't mind the TV screens, but right there, that is the makings of what's going to be the new streaming rig here at HCHQ. Now, this puppy is massively over the top, in which is going to allow us, hopefully, to be able to stream in 4K 60. So we, and by we, I mean me, and with the company of the patrons, we're going to put that puppy together tomorrow, test it out. So I'm looking forward to that. All right, so now moving on, don't mind that little bundle of stuff and the router down there. You see what that is? That is nothing but some USB-C cables and USB PD, so power delivery banks. That's for the cameras that are going to arrive later on this week. They haven't arrived yet, but they're coming from Brooklyn. They'll be here later on this week. All right, and now, kind of the most impressive aspect of this puppy is this. This is all the lighting and its accessories. So this bad boy is what's going to be my pride and joy. That is an Aperture 600X. What does that mean? It's a really, really, really big, really bright, amazing light. That's going to be our main light. Then we have a couple of GVMs down here, which are going to be secondary lights. And then we have some colored lights for the backgrounds and all that fun stuff. And in fact, this light is so heavy and so big, we actually had to buy a specific mount to be able to mount it overhead in the whole 9 yards. Again, do y'all really care about this? No, but I figure I would share a couple of things with you. Now, this, professional riggers, anytime you have anything overhead, you have a second point of safety. And so these are safety lines that are going to secure this. Once it's secured securely there, we're also going to have one of those on every camera and every light and everything else that is overhead, so that if in case it were to fail, it's still safe and doesn't fall on somebody's head and kill them. Makes sense to me. So you might be asking yourself, that seems like an overabundance of lights for one studio. And you would be correct. So why do I have so many damn lights? Because we're going to have 2 studios. Ooh. Oh, that's so exciting. All right. So here we go. Because part of what secured me, or kind of made me choose the location that I did, was, and I will share this up there. That up here, that is going to be, I need to come up with a better name for this, but it's going to be the talking studio. Now, like when we do stuff like this, or we do an Ask the Elephant, or we do a top 10, or we do a whatever, something that doesn't require the overhead cameras that this studio is going to have. Don't get me wrong, I love my chair, it's comfortable, but it'd be a lot more comfortable if I had a more cozy, intimate setting. And so we're gonna be able to be streaming up there. But that, again, it's a second studio. The cool thing is I don't need a new camera for that. One of the cameras is going to do double duty. I'm going to physically walk up there and put it up there. However, outside of the camera, everything else is a brand new studio. So what does that mean? Get that a little closer here. That means lights, audio. Don't need the camera, but lights and a separate audio way to do it, as well as a laptop to be able to stream it, because I'm not going to be able to stream with the computer that we're building over there. That's going to be for down here and all that. So yeah, I've been busy. We've been building this, researching it the hell out of this, and preparing for all of this. So on Friday, well, let me back up. Today is Monday, October 27th. The tentative plan, if everything goes smoothly, which it's not gonna. I know that, you know that. The world works that way. Tomorrow, we're building our computer. So the new streaming rig, provided that goes well. I built all my previous computers, but provided that goes well, that's done. On Thursday, the cameras are supposed to arrive. So that is 4 cameras to go with the 2 existing PTZ cameras. So once those arrive, on Friday morning, Kyle is going to stop by, and he and I are going to rig the lights. We're going to rig the cameras, and hopefully everything works. Hopefully, let's hope it does. Which then means on Monday of next week, so a week from today, we're going to do some test streams. Maybe this weekend, depending on how successful the rigging and everything went. We're going to do some test streams that the patrons are going to be privy to. And it's just going to be us. Hey, does this work? Hey, does this work? Oh, that didn't work. Okay, fix this. And a whole lot of that. However, you know what you haven't heard me really mention are the mics. And that is because, just going to be honest with you, I stress to you all how important the audio is. And I would argue, to me, audio is an order of magnitude more important than video, but it's also extraordinarily expensive. And if we're going to do this right, it's really expensive. Like almost 5 figures expensive. Now, if we weren't doing this live and had to worry about 6 people in the whole 9 yards, could it be done a lot cheaper? Yeah. And if we weren't in the building we are, could it be done cheaper? Yeah, probably. So I have to come to grips with the cost of that. I also need to confirm everything and make sure that I have all my ducks in a row as far as what we're ordering. And if all goes well, that will arrive next week. And once that's here, then my consultants will come out and they're going to help me dial all the microphones in. And so everybody sounds like butter. We hope. That's the plan. So then I'm not going to put a hard, fast date on this because I've learned not to do that. But I'm going to say things should be streaming live. Should. By the Ides of November. Maybe sooner. I'm giving that's a little built-in fudge factor. So that gives me almost 3 weeks, which is probably more than we are going to need at this point, but just in case. So that is the plan. And once we're live, once we have everything working, it's going to be hot and heavy. There's going to be a lot of heavy cardboard content coming for y'all. Doing almost everything live as we are wont to do. And everything from Old King's Crown, Sweetlands, Atlantic Chase, D-Day at Omaha Beach, 1817, 18 Royal Gorge, and a whole lot of SM releases, as well as a bunch of older stuff as well. Okay? So, there you go. That's kind of what we've been doing, what's been going on, and now y'all are mostly caught up, I'd say. So, with that said, I'm done kind of blubbering after almost half an hour. And yeah, how about I'll open up the floor. So I've seen chat going, but I've kind of ignored it for right now. So I could give you all the lowdown as to what's been going on. And so with that said, let me catch up on chat and let me see. So here we go. Is this live? I think so. Yes. Have I gone by the old place to see if they've done anything to it? Yes, I have. So Jess lives in Wakefield, and like at first, for like the first week, whenever I would go by there, because I'd go see her and the kids and stuff, I would go by and be like, it's still standing. Like he was like, oh, demolition is imminent, da 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 da. I was learned that demolition isn't just bring in a wrecking ball and just hit stuff. Apparently, like they have to get all the buy-offs. So like the gas and electric companies got to remove their meters. They got to, apparently it is a weeks and weeks and weeks long process. But they can't start that until it's been vacated. So for the first week or two, I was pretty pissed off. I was like, why was I killing myself to get out of here when this building's still standing? I was so pissed off. I was so angry. And then I realized, you know what? Not my monkey, not my circus. I ain't got to worry about it anymore. I don't care if dude was just full of crap and just... That said, I know what we were paying in rent, and I know what the other folks were paying in rent, and ain't nobody living there. So I guarantee he's wanting to get it demolished because ain't making no money from it. So yeah, at first I was really, really pissed off about the lack of demolition because I was so stressed and so threatened and everything else. And the games that the landlord was playing was just, and I could have drawn it out. I could have gone to court. I could have fought it. I could have all of these things. But you don't want to live and be somewhere that you're not wanted either. And it just didn't make sense. And so I just didn't, I guess. So yeah, it's definitely an eyesore at this point because it's like the gutters are falling off and it's horrible. But yes, I have gone past it and I just don't care about it anymore. So, but I am still maybe a hair pissed off that it's still standing. And here it is, almost November. Why did I have to endure that level of stress? Uh, so actually, it's funny. I see that Martin. I'm going through chat right now, and I'm checking out the comments and everything. Martin Fowler's like off to dinner. Looking forward to seeing the new studio in the flesh. He hasn't been here yet, so I'm excited for him to be out here. He's coming out tomorrow. We're playing 18 Royal Gorge tomorrow night. So looking forward to doing that. And that is I mean, any games we play or pre-plays to be able to get ready for when we come back live. All right. So there's that. Copper Lantra says, well, I've never seen behind the scenes like this before. I was pretty possessive, I guess, of everything previously because I put in a lot of work. Everything that I've come up with on this channel has been a lot of trial and error and just making it work. And that carries forward on this as well, except I'm just not worried about anybody trying to copy us anymore that people have. Go ahead, come at it, come try. Do you? There's plenty of games out there. I'm not too worried about it. So yeah, I'm happy to answer questions and share most of the info with folks. So what about calling that room the perch since it overlooks the room? Maybe that could work. David says, thanks for breaking down a little bit of what you've been working on, kind of behind the scenes. The production value, your rules, and the players make this my favorite board game channel. Well, thank you, David. In fact, the other day, I saw a comment on one of our streams. I don't remember what game it was. It might have been Speakeasy because I know Speakeasy recently delivered. And somebody was like, is Heavy Cardboard still doing live playthroughs or live streams or something to that effect? And I was like, oh no. I got so caught up, like the patrons have almost had a daily update on what all has been going on, but I realized I haven't really been sharing a whole lot with the public. And I was like, ooh, my bad, sorry. So here we are. So that was kind of the nudge, the little prodding of a stick. It wasn't meant that way, and it was meant to be a very friendly, hey, what's going on? And I was like, oh no, I need to do that. So here we are. Loved your ARCs campaigns. Well, I appreciate that, Jeremy. Hopefully you've enjoyed the rest of the content. But yes, there very possibly likely will be a third campaign. Probably with a new deck of cards, though. Would love to see a Cross Bronx Expressway playthrough once you're settled. That is planned, Spot. So rest assured that will be coming. Just played Sweetlands today. Fantastic game, Julian says. will make your head burn. I've heard a lot of chatter about it. I've heard mixed, I think is a fair description. And I haven't played it yet. I haven't even seen it, but I'm going to lay eyes on it for the first time tomorrow. I'm curious to experience it and to bring it to y'all. We also recently played The Old King's Crown, and people were asking my thoughts on that. And I think to sum it up in just a handful of sentences, everybody and their mother apparently has covered Old King's Crown. It is not designed or has anything to do with Cole Wehrle. However, if you tend to like Cole Wehrle style games, you're going to like Old King's Crown. To what degree do you like Cole Wehrle's games will kind of dictate how much you like Old King's Crown. If you don't like that style of game, and I'm using that as a kind of a, not a crutch, but a shortcut to where if you're watching this channel, I assume you know the style of game I'm talking about. So therefore, you can kind of make the comparison, the direct, I think, comparison. I enjoyed it. Got to be in the right want to play that style of game, but it's pretty good. It's pretty good. Hello, Raphael. Let's see. Brianna says, just played Luthier the other night, and oh man, that was way crunchier than I thought it was going to be. I am very excited to get my hands on that and play that. So that's encouraging to hear. Good. Spot says, all that stress and enduring those circumstances has brought you to a much better place overall. Literally, from a physical standpoint, from a mental, God knows, from a mental standpoint, and from a production standpoint as well. And I'm really, even though I realize I say that and I'm on my iPhone right now, but yes. It is going to benefit everybody associated with heavy cardboard, with the caveat of those that have a longer drive that have to come to be on the channel, which I'm very, very grateful that they are willing to make that drive. Probably the longest one at this point now, unfortunately, for his sake, is Kyle. He has the longest trek at this point. He's coming from south of Boston, and we are very north of Boston, almost into New Hampshire. The people this was worst for is probably Martin and Derek. Derek could walk to the studio from his house. Can't do that anymore. And Martin was real close. Not now. So that's a bummer. So I feel bad. But at the same time, it's closer to John. It's closer to Ken. All of this was taken into consideration. Plus, don't laugh, but things like, where are the visitors going to park? Like, where are the people that are coming to the studio to stream? Where are they going to be able to park? That actually eliminated an entire city as an option. Lol, because everything was on-street city parking. So I couldn't, even though I looked at plate, it doesn't matter. The point is, a lot of factors went into choosing where we chose. And it just so happens that it feels like this was really a real great landing spot for the show in general. So yeah. David says, I've taken this opportunity to catch up on some of your older streams, but look forward to the new content. Awesome, me too. Like, well, I have actually taught myself some games that I had to reteach myself to be able to get ready for game nights and stuff like that. By doing that, I think that's going to make me a better games teacher, because I've realized a couple of things that annoyed the ever-living crap out of me. And if it bothered me, it's probably bothering y'all. So I think in the end, it's going to make for a slightly more concise teaching and just smoother for y'all. I'm sure there will be some bumps in learning along the way and, smoothing everything out. But I think in the end, the self-reflection on the way I was teaching games, it's still going to have the same style. It's just going to be a little bit more concise, a little bit. I'm still very verbose and very wordy, and I tend to repeat myself, especially when it comes to emphasizing things. That's probably still going to remain, but there are little things here or there, little quality of life stuff for those of y'all that watch it at like 1.5 times speed after the fact. I think it'll do you some good. And it will just be a net positive for everybody. Let's see. BG Orion says, "Are you streaming the Great Library?" Yup. When is the official start with the new setup? I don't have a hard fast date yet, but mid-November time frame is what we're looking for or looking at. Okay. How are the publishers reacting to your hiatus? Have they been understanding? For the most part, there are two in particular that have been understanding and patient, but they also were like, hey, come on, in a nice way. So, overall, it's been really great. Everyone's been very understanding, very patient, and everybody knows that it's for the better long term. This is a net positive for everybody associated with the channel, be it publishers, designers, and all of us and all of y'all. What's the name of the new city? I am technically in Lawrence, but right on the border of Lawrence and North Andover. Just up the river from my hometown. Where's your hometown, David? Is Lincoln about? Maybe a brief Lincoln cam. Lincoln ate dinner and crashed the hell out. Yeah, he's upstairs. He's out. So probably not going to happen. No Lincoln sightings tonight, unfortunately. It doesn't look like. Haverhill. All right, cool. Yes, not far from here. That is true. Looking forward to new content, maybe new Oath gameplay, 100%. On a positive note, the timing of this, coincidental, or was it? Kyle's rugby season is almost done. Kyle's rugby season interferes with Oath and ARCs and all the other group things that we try and do. He's in the playoffs this weekend. So I was honest with him. I said, I hope you come out of it healthy. I hope you have a blast. And from a friend standpoint, I hope you guys win in the playoffs. From a heavy cardboard dude who needs your help and misses you at the studio more, season's been long enough. I hope it doesn't end Saturday. He's been a good sport about it. And his knees probably are looking forward to the end of the season as well. Joseph says, oh, I literally grew up in North Andover, right on the border of Lawrence, and went to my last 2 years of high school in Lawrence. Well, there you go. Michael says, hey, from Concord, Mass. I'm just saying, Concord's not that far. We're always looking for more people to join the group. I'm just saying, Michael, I'm just saying. It's not that far. You know how I know that? Because I had to make multiple trips to Lensper to go, which is in Concord. So, just saying. Email, heavycardboard@gmail.com. It works. Just floating that idea out there. Orion says, yeah, I looked at Old King's Crown, immediately thought, that looks like a Cole Wehrle game. Aesthetic reminded me a little bit of Oath. Like artwork and everything, like I guess I could kind of, like, it's not Kyle Farron or anywhere. It's not that style, but I get what you're saying, yes. So yeah, but there you go. Welcome to HCHQ 3.0. Says so on the studio, 3rd edition. Says so on the hoodie. So I don't know. Mid-November. That's what we're shooting for. Yeah. Anyway, I missed y'all. Hopefully, it sounds like y'all have missed us. So it's coming soon. I'm really excited. I'm really, really excited. This has been a serious roller coaster of a trip. It's gone from like the lowest of lows, like don't understand how they're demolishing the place, like how are we going to make this work, to we can't seem to find the right place, to oh my God, this is amazing, to oh, maybe we can stream in 4K. Oh, 4K is just not attainable. Oh, maybe we can't. Oh, maybe we can't. Maybe we can. Maybe we can't. It's we've been riding them waves, but seeing everything. And today was the big delivery day. So most of the hardware, most of the computer hardware arrived today. The lights, most of them all arrived in the last 48 hours. And so I was like, you know what? The timing of all this just works to be able to update y'all with the cameras coming later on this week. I'm just really, really excited to be able to get back to doing my job and hanging out with y'all and teaching y'all some really, really great games. So let's do that. All right. So mid-November, 2 studios, and a lot of content coming for y'all. So I'm excited. I hope y'all are excited. I appreciate y'all hanging and being patient and understanding. It hasn't been smooth, but it'll be worth it. That I feel confident in. All right. All right. So I will see y'all publicly in next couple, 2-3 weeks. If you're a patron, you see me way too much. You see me almost every day. And tomorrow we're building the new computer. So if that's your thing, consider supporting the show over on patreon.com/HCHQ. And in the meantime, we'll be busy building all of this. And I'll see y'all in a couple of weeks. All right. Again, thank you to everybody for all the support. Thank you to everybody for the patience, the understanding, honestly, the kind words and just the understanding. It's been a trip. So I am grateful and I'm really looking forward to getting back to y'all. So I'll see y'all soon. All right. Happy Halloween as well. Take care.